No, I'm not going back there. I'm done with Earth. I'm going to see what's over this ridge. Captain, there's something very serious down here. Today on the Comic Book Report, Green Lantern Earth 1 Volume 1. Stick around and check it out. Greetings everyone, my name is Dominic and today you're tuning in to the Comic Book Report, where we review comic books and graphic novels so you can get an idea of what to read. And today I'm back in the world of DC Comics' Earth 1 with Green Lantern Earth 1. If you've been following my channel for a while now, you've seen reviews from Batman Earth 1 and Superman Earth 1, and I've known for a long time the next book I wanted to check out was Green Lantern. So I was happy to find this at a used bookstore recently. But if you're looking for your own comic book collected editions, I always recommend checking out our channel sponsor, OrganicPriceBooks.com. You can use our code at checkout, TheComicBookReport, to receive $2 off of your order. Please note, if you use my affiliate code or links for your purchases, I will earn a small commission, but it's a great way to support our channel. Thank you so much for considering. Now let's get started with today's review. But first, some quick facts about today's collection. The volume was written by Gabriel Hardman and Corinna Bechko, and illustrated by Gabriel Hardman. The volume was published by DC Comics in 2018. The volume itself collects Green Lantern Earth 1 Volume 1. And finally, this standard size hardcover comes in at 144 pages. At this time, I'd like to issue a general spoiler warning. I will be flipping through the contents of today's collection and commenting on plot points throughout. You've been advised. Okay, and here's our first look at that standard size hardcover from DC Comics. For those that have seen my videos on Batman Earth 1 and Superman Earth 1, this format should be very familiar to you. This is that DC Earth 1 hardcover format, so we don't get any dust jackets with this collection. It's just the hardback book itself. Like the other collections, these are published as graphic novels rather than having individual issues that come out on the stands, at least as far as I'm concerned. Overall, I really love the cover design with this. Of course, they went with green for the Green Lantern Corps. Really beautiful stuff. Love the cover art we get, and I was really eager to dive in just seeing the exterior for this book. And now just to give you a quick look at the binding, I do believe it's glued binding on this guy. I didn't really have any challenges with mine. I think it's a really nicely put together book, and nothing too dissimilar from what I saw with the other Earth 1 collections. Maybe a little bit tight as far as the binding goes, but no real problem when I just open the pages, push the book down a little bit. Otherwise, no real issue. Okay, and now let's go ahead and dive into the collection itself. So as I mentioned, this is Green Lantern Earth 1 Volume 1. They did make a Volume 2 in this line. I'm unclear if they ever plan to pick this up or do further books in the Earth 1 universe. I would really love to see it, as everything I've read so far I've really enjoyed, including this book here. I will say from the jump, I was not familiar with any of these creators before picking up this book, so if you've read other things by the creators, please let me know in the comments. I would be interested in checking out more they had to offer, because I really loved what I saw here in this volume. But I do want to point that out because JMS for Superman and Jeff Johns and Gary Frank for Batman Earth 1, the creators were definitely a draw for those titles for me. At this point, once I reached Green Lantern though, the draw was really the Earth 1 series as a whole. I just wanted to see how they would approach Green Lantern. So that was really fun because I felt like I went in relatively blind, not really knowing what to expect stylistically from these creators that I haven't really seen before. So I will say, when you jump in, you don't need to have any prior reading. The beauty of a lot of these Earth 1 titles is that this is a separate universe within the DC multiverse. It's kind of a relaunch, reimagining of some of these classic characters. It reminds me to something like the Marvel Ultimate Universe, where it's just a fresh continuity, kind of revamped versions of your favorite characters, and spinning out new stories that maybe touch on classic mythos for these characters, but oftentimes in a new way, or just kind of more fresh. So with Green Lantern, I had heard relatively positive reviews, but I went in and I enjoyed it even more than I expected to. The book starts out with Hal Jordan. He's been in these kind of space missions for almost a decade now, not returning back to Earth. He does work for Ferris, the same company as the, traditional Green Lantern canon, but now it's this like space exploration sort of company. But it's really interesting. He's basically on this mission. They're outside, him and his partner, in their kind of spacesuits, and they're sort of walking around trying to find artifacts or do just different things like that. They stumble upon a downed, like, alien ship on this surface, and when they go inside it, they find a dead alien, presumably Earth One's version of Abin Sur, with kind of the power ring and the power battery. Basically, from there, a bunch of misadventures sort of happen, but essentially Hal Jordan ends up with the ring and the power battery. His crew basically wants to leave him for dead in space because they see him glowing and just kind of presume he's been exposed to this alien radiation, which makes sense. So he's basically left floating in space with the Green Lantern ring, and he has no idea what's going on. He found a dead alien, he's being abandoned by his colleagues, and in comes a kind of beaten down Manhunter robot that starts attacking him. We see kind of lights flash. We think Hal Jordan stops it, but he basically goes unconscious in space. Next after that, he wakes up in this alien planet, alien world with this weird kind of medical equipment. He's been kind of patched up. He has no idea what has happened, what's going on, and he basically encounters Kilowog, which is a longtime great supporting character of Green Lantern and the Green Lantern Corps. We basically have Kilowog, who also possesses a power ring along with a power battery. Hal Jordan does not have his anymore, he just has the ring, so the two of them are basically sharing one power battery to charge their ring. He basically assumes that Hal Jordan must be this legendary Green Lantern, having destroyed a Manhunter. Hal Jordan says, I don't really know what's going on. I defeated this thing, but it was kind of rusted, and I don't really know what's happening. Kilowog is visibly discouraged as he hoped he would receive more Green Lantern training. And instead, we have Hal Jordan actually going to Kilowog for training, and he gives him just everything he does know about the Green Lanterns and the Green Lantern Corps. We understand that in this universe, the Owens, the Guardians of the Universe, maybe created the Green Lantern Corps, but they have been defeated by the Manhunters. The power battery has been destroyed. Most of the Green Lanterns have been killed, and there's only a remnant that remain in hiding. We don't know where the other Green Lanterns are or the rings. And so basically the two of them basically try to team up to stop the Manhunters. They realize that they need much more force, much more Green Lanterns to stop the Manhunters, especially ones that are pristine and not rusted like the one he fought. So effectively, the two of them bounce from world to world with this one power battery, trying to recruit or find or hear stories of other Green Lanterns. They have varying degrees of success, but mostly it's an abysmal failure. We have one person that basically says the Guardians who created the Green Lantern Corps also created the Manhunters, and it's not what you think, and it's a much more complicated history. And ultimately, we have the Manhunters sort of find them. Hal Jordan basically gets beat up again, and he wakes up on a kind of slave planet that's inhabited by the Manhunters and kind of enslaving all of these different races. You kind of come to find that his Green Lantern ring has run out of power. He doesn't have the battery. He doesn't have Kilowog. He doesn't know what happened. And with his power ring dead, he no longer has translation for all of these different alien languages, so he's completely isolated and alone and basically enslaved. Well, basically on this planet, at one point, he starts being able to understand the aliens again, which makes him realize his ring had somehow captured a charge. He finds that there's actually a buried sort of huge power battery. It's just shielded behind this big dome, and he basically understands that this is the Owen planet, and this is where everything happened. The power battery still exists, but it's just being shielded, which is why the remaining Green Lantern Corps rings are not as powerful as they once were. And he basically gets a message from the power battery from a remaining Guardian who basically tells him, destroy this dome and then basically have all the lanterns summoned by a message and stop the Manhunters. You can kind of submit all your power into this battery and it'll kind of blow it up and kill this whole planet and all the Manhunters. Green Lantern kind of does a version of that, basically saying, I'll do this distress call, I will free the Lantern, but we're not going to destroy the planet, because while it would kill the Manhunters, it'll also destroy all of these innocent people that have been enslaved. The Guardian isn't happy with this, but essentially he is able to get this distress message out. The remaining Green Lanterns show up to give assistance. Full-on battle between Green Lanterns and the Manhunters. They free the power battery, and they try to destroy all the Manhunters they can before essentially restarting the Green Lantern Corps. We have a moment where the remaining Guardian of Oa is displeased with Hal Jordan's choice. He was hoping to basically wipe the slate clean, removing the Green Lantern Corps and the Manhunters from existence, but he basically says no matter, we have a backup plan, and we see kind of a glimpse of the Yellow Lanterns and a yellow power battery. And essentially the Green Lantern Corps is starting again. And that's where we basically end our story. The adventures continue onward. Hal goes back to Earth to kind of defend his planet, and we just are kind of like, well, let's see what happens in the future. Are the Yellow Lanterns coming? What do we do about the remaining Manhunters? Things like that. There are, of course, other plot details and nuances in this storyline, some very notable appearances from different Green Lanterns and other supporting characters from the Green Lantern mythos and continuity, but I'll leave that for you to read and discover for yourselves. But overall, a great story. I think it was really self-contained. It left me eager to check out Volume 2, but I was really satisfied with a full story here with the Volume 1. Very well done, a great retelling of a Green Lantern origin story. The art throughout by Hardman was absolutely stunning. I like the kind of gritty, sharp, more sketchy look of some of the artwork. The coloring was beautiful and moody. I think there's a very much kind of grim, dystopian science fiction feel to the art, which absolutely capture the kind of story they're wanting to tell. This felt very science fiction, very spacey as far as a Green Lantern story goes. Almost all of it is done in space, and I think that was so much to the strength of the storyline. Absolutely loved it. Very, very fun. I mean, just look at all the green here. I love whenever they use the powers. I love whenever the art leans on some of the science fiction elements of the storytelling or set pieces. It's really just a beautifully illustrated world, or set of worlds in this case. Really felt immersive. I felt absolutely drawn in and gripped. I would say the pacing feels kind of fast. Like, I wonder what this would have felt like another couple, maybe another 50 to 60 pages. I wonder what we would have seen here. I wonder if we would have gotten even more character depth for some of these characters. But I really do like what we get. I felt like it moved pretty fast, and it left me wanting more. Like I said, I would love to see more within this world. I really wish that a lot of these Earth 1 titles, while I do like that they release them like standalone graphic novels, I actually wish they were a little bit more like Marvel Ultimate Universe, where we had a lot of ongoing titles that would go for a while that were just set in this world. Because I feel like with this and the Batman and Superman Earth 1s I've read, I would really just like to see more. I wish these were like this quality but an ongoing series. Maybe that's not possible, but I would just keep reading these because I think the story quality is all there. I think that the concept is great. I think it's a great way to grab new readers. But for whatever reason, I don't hear people talking about this maybe nearly enough. I think that these are so fun to read, and even though they're outside of the mainstream DC continuity and universe, they're still so much fun. And as a part of the broader DC multiverse, they're absolutely astonishingly great reads that I would really recommend to new readers or people that are just wanting to check out some of these characters or comic books in general. They feel very contemporary and fresh, and I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. I think for me, my definitive Green Lantern run will probably always be Jeff Johns' run on the title, but this was a great entry point for new readers, I would say. I think it really stands up. I had a blast reading it. I am curious if anyone's read the Volume 2. Let me know what you thought. I'm debating whether I want to pick that up anytime soon, but really enjoyed it. I know there's a few other Earth 1 titles I'm hoping to check out maybe sometime in the future, like Wonder Woman or Teen Titans, but this was the next one I was really eager to see, and I'm really happy I found that at that used bookstore. I think Hal comes across super likable here, which I can't always say for every run he's in, but really, really good. Really fun little primer for a different kind of Green Lantern. At the back of the book, there were a couple art pieces, a little bit of a blurb, not a ton of extras, but you do get a couple, which I like to see. But that's really it for Green Lantern Earth 1 Volume 1. If you like this, definitely check out some of my other videos on some other Earth 1 titles I've reviewed. I'll try to link them to this video. And now all that's left is to give Green Lantern Earth 1 Volume 1 a grade. For this fun and contemporary revamp of the Green Lantern mythos, the Comic Book Report is happy to give Green Lantern Earth 1 Volume 1 a B+. I thought that this was a fantastic start to this Earth 1 series, very accessible to new and returning readers. The art style throughout was stylized and gorgeous all the way through. I loved what a science fiction story this felt like, very genre, very fun, and it's Hal Jordan like I've never seen him. I enjoyed this so much, I would definitely seek out some of these creators again in other works they might do, but for now, I am thrilled to check this out, and I hope to pick up Volume 2 soon. But let me know what you think of Green Lantern Earth 1 in the comments below. I always enjoy hearing from you, getting feedback, and until next time, this has been the Comic Book Report. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give a like to this video, and maybe check out some of my other videos. Have a good one.